Good morning, Trump's family. Have a good day and God bless you. Thank you for always watching and subscribing to the channel. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the news. And desperation from the Democrat Party along with Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, and the rest of the swamp in order to try to salvage any type of power they have in Congress right now, is reaching some heightened levels. We've talked about how the January 6th sham investigation continues to barrel towards some type of charges they want the DOJ to bring against Donald Trump in order for him not to be able to run in 2024, along with other individuals in Congress. They're trying to sabotage as we speak. We talked about how Liz Cheney talked about this last weekend, where she said, yes, they are thinking about 6 criminal charges they want to recommend to the DOJ to bring against Trump and others. Well, it looks like Pelosi and Democrats have an October surprise that they want to drop before the midterm elections. That's right, the arrest of Donald J. Trump, and I don't think it's going to go the way they think it's going to go. But this story coming to us from Julie Kelly, who has been very involved in the January 6th, no hoax that has been put on to America. And of course, she's been very involved with January 6th up political prisoners, and of course the cover-ups that are currently happening in our government. She joined Lee Smith in issuing a dire warning. The Democrat Party's October surprise is the arrest of President Donald Trump. That's right. So investigative reporter Julie Kelly from American Greatness. Join author Lee Smith from the hiphopepictv.com to discuss the ongoing prosecution of the January 6th political prisoners and Democrat Party's ultimate plan to arrest Donald J. Trump. During their 1-hour discussion, Julie Kelly emphasized the need to expose the top Democrat Party operatives who are behind the physical and mental torture of Trump supporters who have been targeted in a January 6th witch hunt. U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves is running to January 6th protest investigation. Graves just demand behind the inhumane treatment of Trump supporters who were arrested following the January 6th protest. Many of the political prisoners have been locked up for over a year without trial. Graves is a Democrat Socialist Party hitman. He delights in the torture and abuse of his political foes. Investigate charges, excuse me, and invents charges to ensure their personal destruction. Judge Tim Kelly is another top player involved into prosecution of Trump supporters. Julie Kelly and Lee Smith warned that the Democrat Party will not bow down and apologize to the American people for the last 2 years of national destruction. They are plotting their October surprise, the arrest of President Donald Trump on junk charges pushed by the D.C. courts and Matthew Graves. Democrats are willing to tear the country apart in order to hold on to power. We've seen this throughout history. There are no better than any other banana republic or communist regime in history. So yes, they are trying to arrest Donald Trump. And this is something that we've talked about here on the channel for a little bit now, and how they've been pursuing this, people like Liz Cheney and others, even Adam Schiff, who has recently pushed rule changes, where the DOD wouldn't have to answer to anybody from Congress, any type of oversight, things that involve things that they have been involved in even January 6th, so they're already pushing all of the installation. They're ready to go ahead and bring this out, and they are going to try to arrest Donald Trump, and I guarantee you, this is not going to go the way they think it's going to go. If this happens, this would be the ultimate spark for a civil war. Something that many of us don't want to see happen. We want to see this resolved through the actual processes that our country has to offer. However, Democrats are really pushing in that direction. They really want to go after the American public, and they will do so with every tool available to them. Even if the tools that are available to they'll just invent new ones. Judges had been siding with President Trump for about 4 or 5 months now. Not many people realize this. He's been winning a number of legal battles. Now you have a Supreme Court that, it's Trump that put 3 conservatives on the Supreme Court. And it's Democrats who cheated Bernie Sanders, their only hope at defeating Trump. And having 3 liberal justices on the Supreme Court, I know that people disagree with me. I support Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, at that moment in time, because I was telling everyone Clinton will lose to Trump and The Hill, the Huffington Post Salon. I was telling everybody that on this YouTube channel. They didn't listen. And at that moment in time, the Bernie of today obviously is a tool, the Democratic Party, and maybe he always was, but at that moment in time, there was lightning in a bottle. And he would have won Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. You could disagree with me all you like, That's fine. My point is, Democrats did that to themselves. They don't like the conservative Supreme Court. Well, they worked overtime. Correct. The record should get, a thank you card and all of media. All the pollsters, everybody that propped up a candidate that I said would lose to Trump. I said only Bernie Sanders at that moment in time. But anyway, that's a whole other story. I said, I want to Hillary Trump 2024 or Hillary DeSantis 2024. But anyway, Trump has won in numerous states pertaining to legal challenges. So Wisconsin, huge victory there. Pennsylvania, huge victory with the Senate. The state Senate voting essentially along voting for the same. Doing the same thing that the Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled yesterday. Okay, so you have Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, you then have a court of a D.C. court, a D.C. judge limiting the House Oversight Committee's ability to obtain documents. So it's actually a victory for Trump. You have an NBC News, a big victory court says Congress can get some but not all. Trump documents that seeks and is a roll call article here where it talks about how yes, the House Oversight can get the documents. But not all the documents that it wants. And the ruling narrowed the committee's request substantially, finding the panel had not provided enough justification. Under a test, the Supreme Court announced its way to any decision in the case, quote, "We uphold the committee's authority. But we cannot sustain the breadth of the committee's subpoena." The opinion also found the Supreme Court's balancing test for a sitting president still applies even though Trump is out of office. There, the Supreme Court expressed concern that unlimited congressional subpoenas could lead the legislative branch declare open season on the president. Quote, "We do not accept the committee's invitation to abandon the Supreme Court's Masers test in the Masers case itself." Okay. And the court ruled that congressional committees could wield the threat of intrusive post-presidency investigations to influence the actions of sitting presidents. So they're not getting all the documents they want, which is yet another attempt to try and find some kind of criminal act. They can't find any crimes. They're just trying to investigate, because that's all they know how to do. But you have Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, you have a D.C. appeals judge that's siding with Trump. And this is the democracy working. This is the democracy that Democrats think is dissolving or evaporating before our very eyes. It's interesting to you'll never like certain people will never stop complaining. They didn't like Trump when he was in office. He was a menace to democracy. They don't like Trump out of office, he's still a menace to democracy. It's like, well, maybe you just don't like him. And anything he does, you're gonna correlate to your definition of democracy. Just maybe every time somebody finds out, every time the electorate finds that, oh, Hunter's emails show clear quid pro quo and pay to play schemes. They're enriching themselves utilizing the United States government as a carrot or as a, incentive for billionaires and corporations to do business with the Biden family. Gee, where have we seen that before? Bill and Hillary's foundation. Every time we find out that Bernie Sanders was cheated through the DNC emails, or that Hunter's emails on a laptop show criminal conduct, potential criminal conduct. It's always the fault of another country. It's another country that wants you to know, don't you understand? This is the most vapid, absurd propaganda spin. That's the issue here. Trump is slowly gaining these victories and the media doesn't really see it. They don't really see the Wisconsin or Pennsylvania Senate or appeals court victory. They don't really see the House Oversight Committee is going to be run by James Comer. Very soon, in November, the House Judiciary Committee is going to be run by Jim Jordan. They're going to impeach President Mashed Potato Brains. They're going to impeach Biden, within the first probably 6-7 months. And you're going to have Trump Republicans that make me look like a morally superior liberal Democrat who will vote blue no matter who. Okay, these are. They're Trump Republicans taking over the House in the Senate. They want payback. Like James Brown, the big payback, they want payback. And so you set this, American politics now is about investigating your political rivals. The difference with Republicans investigating Democrats now is that, there are emails. So again, Democrats can't type an email without a controversy. There are voicemails, so Joe Biden has a voicemail with Hunter, stating, "Yeah, you're in the clear." Read the New York Times article, which is an extension of the Democratic Party. You're in the clear. So you have voicemails, emails, business transactions in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Very bizarre 150 bizarre financial transactions, suspicious financial transactions deemed concerning and suspicious by banks pertaining to Joe and James and Hunter. So it's like it's not going to be difficult. This will be an endless stream of negative developments for the Democratic Party. Then you have the Durham Probe Special Counsel. Don't give up on that, my God Almighty. Do not give, that is very important, ladies and gentlemen. Trump came in and upended everything that they hold sacred, the corruption, the pay-to-play schemes, the media that basically is an extension of the Democratic Party, their sensibilities? That's a huge thing. You got President Obama actually fire one of the great generals that we have, the top general, because of a Rolling Stone article. Okay. Imagine if Trump did that. Imagine if Trump did that. Imagine if, like, they would say, my God, he's a tyrant. He's a tyrant who is, and then all of media would rally behind that general if Trump did the same thing as President Obama because of a Rolling Stone article, but all of media said, yes, President Obama had to do that. That's why Trump will always get half the electorate, because half the electorate sees media for what it is, what they are. An extension of the Democratic Party never used to be like that. You could go to watch clips from 2000 when it was Bush versus Gore, and Al Gore and George W. were going at it and we didn't know who was gonna win. And CNN didn't care. CNN did not care. Go and watch the clips on YouTube. It was like there was no partisanship, people. You didn't have people cry, and yet people crying when Trump won, Are you kidding me? And then it's like, oh, he's such a tyrant. It's like, no, if you cannot differentiate Trump's the media reaction to Trump, the apoplectic and hysterical response to anything he says, this sensationalized coverage of Trump's words, his Twitter account, his personality, the hearsay and gossip and rumors, he threw his lunch at the wall. My God, called the Hague. If you can't differentiate between what they want you to think Trump is and who he is, you don't know much about politics, or you're not very intelligent. Or maybe you could be intelligent, but you just, are a lifelong liberal Democrat. And you don't want to actually see things for what they are. You don't want to accept reality. The reality is he was a good president. In terms of accomplishments, we had a great economy. Do you want this economy? If you voted for Joe Biden, did you expect a recession? Probably not. Did you expect a geopolitical nightmare in Europe? Probably not. Do you expect 8 to 9% inflation? Did you expect the stock market to crash? Do you expect all of these problems, crime, homelessness surging? No, probably not. Did we have all of these problems with Trump? No, not before his last year in office when Democrats gleefully tanked their economies, and we're still experiencing the repercussions of that. And believe me, they want the political side that will want to tank economies again. You know which political side we have to have. Two experts say, well, what about the experts who disagree? All those are people or bad people. Consensus of good experts that we like. Okay, what about the experts you don't like? Those are bad, we don't listen to them. That's the way the coercion and the fabricated consensus works out on every topic with Democrats. But anyway, he's slowly gaining these victories. And if you watch this channel, you'll understand why these victories are important, these political victories, these legal victories, because it will help him greatly to get back into the Oval Office. Thank you for watching the video. I wish